Hello, this is Tim from Next Year's Garden, and what I have now is a tip on getting and working with your leaves. If you have a compost pile made out of leaves, um, a way you can work it. Now, of course, what you want to do over time is, various times you want to turn this pile to help it compost. These were shredded. I shredded them driving over them with a lawnmower. Uh, but what you'll find, though, is that underneath the pile, the leaves will be quite wet, and that can be a little hard to work with. Eventually, it gets there, and in England this is called, or in the gardening world this is called leaf mold, because it's leaves that are in the process of turning into compost. And leaf molded is a distinct type of compost, just because it's one of the few composts that's like, yeah, this is made out of exactly one ingredient. In most composting arrangements, you're happy to use a variety of things. So, and so it's going to be some time before this is ready. And this isn't even 20% done. I mean, it's done in the sense that it's a nice, well-built compost pile, lots of stuff in there, but it's just a long way from being cooked at all. I don't know what's going on deep inside. These have been here since last fall. It's now May. So the thing, though, so it's going to be a while before these are ready, and turning, shredding, whatever, when they're this wet, they're heavy and they stick together. It's not very practical. But what you have, generally, what you will have on any sort of leaf pile like this, and probably on other compost piles as well, but certainly with leaves, is there'll be dry leaves on top that are, and so you may need some. And so the trick and technique that I'm recommending today is that you take a leaf blower that has a vacuum mode. In this case, this is a Ryobi from Home Depot, and this is a battery powered thing, and it is designed to be a leaf mulcher. And so it has a vacuum end. It has the fan, the motor there. You see the battery, and then it shreds it and puts it into the bag. Let me just pause this for a second. So open up the bag and you look at this, and so this is still dry. It's again, it's not compost by any means. So this is mulch, but running through the machine, this mulch is a lot finer and consistent, and something that would be easier, to spread. And in fact, I've just planted some potatoes yesterday, and I'm going to put some of this over those potatoes. They've been chitted. They've clearly got some sprouts on them, but they haven't really gotten attached to the ground yet. So I'm going to pause again. So here we are at the raised bed for the potatoes, and I've planted a marigold. At the end there's a tomato plant, and around this side, going down to that side, there are green bean climbing variety there, Blue Lake, and then there are also snow pea pods seeds in there. And then each of these stakes, you can see it's a 3x3 arrangement of stakes. They're actually just little weed stems from last year, and there's a potato starter next to each of them. Okay, and then I brought up the stuff. Now, as I said, there were a bunch of, I didn't really plant this at all last year, but there were a bunch of some kind of plant, weedy plant, I don't know. And so there's all these stalks here, and from those weeds, and they're dried up. And actually, it's an example of using something in your garden, and maybe there's some benefit to not weeding or just immediately composting everything. So I'm going to get the bag and I'm going to spread this leaf mulch over these to help these potatoes. And for example, I think I can show, there's one right there, so you can see the little green and reddish tip on there. This is the seed potato. So there's 9 of those out there. Now, pause for a moment. So I got the shredded mulched leaves out of the bag and into a 5-gallon bucket here. And then here is the potato patch. And I'm not usually a big one on hilling potatoes. First of all, I don't grow that many potatoes, but when I haven't really hilled them, I just try to plant them nicely in the first place. But these are barely in the ground, and I think they will benefit from a leaf mulching. The little sticks should help keep the mulching from getting on there too heavily and smothering the young potatoes, but should also provide a little bit of cover that'll help keep things moist without being too wet. So that mulch, one of the things mulch does is it reduces the effectiveness of the wind in drying things out. So I'm going to finish this up. Well, I've spread the 5-gallon bucket of the leaf mulch, and to tell you the truth, I'm kind of excited about this. It's a thin layer, but I think it will be effective. And I know that tomorrow or the next day or next week, I could get in there and whip up another 5-gallon bucket or two of this leaf mulch. I find that very exciting because really it's pretty darn quick. So whichever brand of blower leaf shredder you might have, something to think about. All right, so this is Tim from Next Year's Garden.